Scott Gowans, he described you as being eager to share your cultural background and being a great driver for furthering the game's understanding of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders peoples and culture. What does this round mean for you? And is there a message that you would like to get across? And is there something that you think we can improve on as well?
Yeah, I am a very big driver of, I guess, the cultural side of myself and also for the game as well. I've been a pretty big driver of trying to get an Indigenous round for the last 7 years, and we've finally got one this year. I keep saying last year, but I keep forgetting that it was actually this year, early this year. But yeah, it's something that means a lot to me and my family, and to be able to represent them as well as everybody else in the community and show what Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are capable of, I think is really exciting. And I think in regards to I guess getting better at things, I think it's more for us in a space like this to be able to just start conversations. I think is something that's I guess needs to be done as well. I think there are a lot of people out there that, and including myself, I don't really know a lot. But if we're able to ask questions if you don't know, I think is probably the main thing for me.
I just want to follow on for that. I know you spoke a lot about you grew up in Melbourne, you grew away from country, so it's difficult for you to connect to your family and your culture. But just on a personal level, what does being the first Indigenous woman to play for Sydney mean to you, regardless of what it means for representation and starting a conversation?
I just got goosebumps. It happens every time. I'm thankful enough to be able to be the first Indigenous player to play at the 3 clubs that I've played for. So it's a huge honour and a privilege for myself and my people. And I think this, not just this round, but I think the AFL in general has been really good at kind of making me feel like I'm at home. The people that I've had in my corner from both clubs, for example, I had Nev Jeddah and Jeff Garlett at Melbourne when I first came into the AFL that helped me no end. I still speak to them both now. They're really supportive people of myself, and yeah, I think it is exciting to be the first, but it's also like I just can't wait to see what other Indigenous girls come through this system, because it's such a great club, and I can't wait to have more. I don't want to be the only one. We've got Jade as well in our team. I'm not sure if she's injured at the moment, so unsure if she'll get up for this week, but it'll be really exciting for her to see what we can create in an AFL space, and I'm lucky that I've been here for a few years.
Yeah, and you just touched on creating a space in the AFL. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think there's about 20 Indigenous players in the league at the moment. What would you want to see to create further pathways for Indigenous women in the game?
Yeah, I think as we've started, there was only a handful of Indigenous girls, and I think it's growing every year. And we actually had, I think there was a fair few draftees this year that came in, so that's really exciting. But I think just having pathways, I think they've got the Woomers program now in the AFLW system. So to be able to, I guess, now have what do you call them? I've just lost my whole train of thought. Just to be able to have people to look up to, and yeah, I think it's really exciting for them. And I guess you don't take the position lightly, to say that people look up to you, the role model and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it is very exciting, and hopefully it just continues to grow every year.
And one more question for me, sorry. I know that it's really difficult to speak out about culture and racism. What's the motivation for you? It is scary and it's difficult, and sometimes people don't respond to you in the way that you want them to. Why do you continue to do this?
I guess in the AFLW system we haven't had too much, and touch wood, we don't. But I guess having a look from an outsider looking in at what the men have to go through, it is really heartbreaking. And I think anything that we see, we need to stamp out. And it's unfortunately, it's just going to continue to happen until we start to continue to bring it up. And yeah, I think the AFL have gotten really good at over the last few years to be able to stamp that out and to call it out. And if we all continue, not just Indigenous players or people, but the wider community to stamp that out, I think it's going to minimise all of that sort of racism.
So thank you.
No worries.
The first Sydney Derby this weekend, what are you expecting from the Giants?
Yeah, it is the first Sydney Derby. It's going to be pretty exciting. I keep forgetting sometimes that I'm in Sydney when there's 8 clubs back in Melbourne. So yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting. I think the Giants are on a 2-0, an 0-2 as well. So we're both out there fighting for something. And yeah, I know we've got a few girls that have played at the Giants. So I'm sure there'll be a bit of rivalry.
What attracted you to joining the Swans, and have you settled into living into Sydney yet?
Yeah, there are a few things that attracted me to the Swans. I think just the lifestyle. We don't have many beaches in Melbourne. So if you do, you've got to travel a long time, where at the moment I think I'm 10 minutes away from about 3 different beaches. So the beaches, I think I've worked with Scott before at Pies, and I just love what he was about. And I think once I came on pretty late into the program, so as in seeing the girls that have already been drafted, so seeing the list that we were creating as well was really exciting for me. And yeah, I have settled in. I'm living with 4 of the girls out at the UNSW, so yeah, we can't get away from one another, but it is really exciting, and I'm loving it up here so far.
Being one of the more experienced players in the team, do you enjoy being a mentor to the younger players, and which of the younger players, in your eyes, have showed the most promise?
Yeah, I do enjoy mentoring and I guess being that role model. I am like a big kid, even though I have been in the system for a long time. Some of the girls forget that because I do have a big childish heart. There are a fair few girls. I think there's Lauren Spaghetti. I keep forgetting her name's actually Lauren. It's but Spag, yeah, she's obviously showing a lot of promise, and in our captains as well, one of our captains. So. And then one of my housemates who, in Paige Shepherd, I think she's growing every week, and everyone undersized her all the time, and I'm really glad that she's got her opportunity and she doesn't look out of place at all.
Just one more question. Did you like the design of the Indigenous Guernsey? And does it mean anything specific towards you?
Yeah, I think in regards to an Indigenous jumper, I don't think it's more so whether you like the design. I think it's more so the meaning behind the design. I think every design in itself is incredible, and I think with Adam Goods' mum creating this jumper, I think just has an even more significance to the club. And I know that all of the girls are so honoured to put that on this week and in round 4 as well when we play Port Adelaide. But yeah, it's all the meanings behind them are all incredible, and yeah, this is obviously one of my favourite rounds to play in, just to be able to hear stories from each one of the designs.
Just mentioning, since your debut in 2017, how's your game developed, since then, and is there something in particular that you're focusing on this season, like to add to your game?
Yeah, as I said before, I think the game has changed a whole lot. We used to have a lot more space, now it's a lot more congested. So I think my run and carry game, I definitely is a lot harder to do these days. But then, yeah, I guess having the congested game, my contest needs to get better, which I'm going to continue to work on. My ground balls, which Scott is really, really big on. And then obviously being a forward, just having some goal sense as well. So yeah, there's definitely been a few different things that I've had to work on over the years as the games have developed, and girls are coming in bigger and stronger, and I'm staying the exact same. So I definitely need to get better at that. And but yeah, there's always something different to work on, whether you do something good in one game and something else lacks that you're always, I guess, working on.
And have you finished your training with the ADF? Am I correct with that you finished your training, or are you still finishing off your training?
No, I'm still a part of the army. So I went away for 7 weeks to do my basic training down in Kapooka, and yeah, I'm still still doing that. I've still got a few courses to do before I become a qualified private, and then I can kind of go up from there. But I still am in the ADF. Yep.
Is there skills transference between ADF and AFLW? I know, like you've mentioned some of your leadership qualities, but are there other kind of skill transferences?
Yeah, I definitely think probably the biggest one for me is working under pressure. Obviously, with the high pressure environment with weapons and things that you need to, I guess, work on the spot really quickly. That's almost kind of life and death situation. I think has definitely made me, I guess, think that playing football is obviously a privilege, and that I don't need to. I can actually take a breath and clear my mind before I do certain things, and I always thought that you had to go all the time. But yeah, I think that's probably the main thing that I have taken away from my basic training so far, and I've only done the 7 weeks so far, so I know that with each course that I do, I'm going to continue to get better in those areas and learn new skills as well.
And just a final question, you've had two other teams, Melbourne and Collingwood. Sydney fans are hoping that you found a home here. You're planning on being here long term. Is that something you can see yourself as being a Sydney Swan for a while?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'll definitely retire here. I don't want to move anymore. I think, I'm pretty content with the 12 or 13 weeks I've been here so far, and yeah, I'm just so excited with the group that we've got, and I can't wait to be a part of it.
Against Collingwood last week, did your ex-teammates give you any banter?
No, they didn't. Lucky enough, we played them in a practice match a few weeks ago. Sorry. So, no, I absolutely love the girls down at Collingwood, and I never left on bad terms. So I think that probably makes it a lot easier. I still talk to majority of them. They sent me messages beforehand, and yeah, I think it was really nice. Even like the set shot that I took on the weekend, I didn't hear one thing that they tried to put me off. Like they're all a really humble group, and it was actually really nice to get that out of the way. But I think you're always nervous to play your old squad, but no, they were really lovely to me, and they're a really good bunch of girls.
This week, first time on the SCG, you must be looking forward to running out onto the ground.
Yeah, it's going to be so exciting. I think it's such a historic ground, I think, obviously for the men, and now we get to create our own journey there, and it's going to be really exciting for us to run out there for the first time.